All right, everybody, what is going on? Happy Thursday. This is Austin Hamoka with Park Place. We're super pumped to have everybody here today. It is going to be a fun one. So, what we're going to be going over today is doing some open house training, how to get clients from open houses. So, we have a lot of special stuff for you guys today. I accidentally just closed all my tabs, so that's a lot of fun. Real quick, so just so everyone knows, there are a lot of people here from Park Place, a lot of people not from Park Place. Wherever you are today, wherever you're coming from, we just wanted to say welcome. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time and spending it with us. We promise to be respectful of your time and also give you tons and tons of valuable content. Today, we're talking about something that we have a tremendous amount of experience on, and that is open houses and how to get clients from open houses. I'm going to be having Garth and Stuart walk through some of this training with you guys today. So wanted to say welcome. So what today's going to look like is we're going to go through our open house strategy. So our strategy that we use to get clients from open houses is very unique. It's probable that you haven't heard of it before. Then what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to actually do the open houses, how to do a buyer's consultation, and then we have a special offer for you guys at the end, which is to attend another free event that we're going to be doing. So really excited to have you guys all here today. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce Mr. Garth Ward and Stuart Emery. So
Hey,
guys,
John.
please.
Hey, everybody. So, little bit of background because not all of you are a part of Park Place, but if you aren't, you should be. But anyways, some of you are not. So let's give you a little background. Park Place is a company of 4 locations: Bellevue, Federal Way, Olympia, and Spokane. We specialize in giving amazing service to clients at all price points. That's our goal. And our goal is to make sure that we always give our clients the best experience possible, no matter what. And so to get to the heart of it, just like we said, we're not going to be doing a lot of fluff in today's video. We're going to basically be talking to you guys exactly what we do, how we do it to lock down clients from open houses to actually getting them as clients. So let's start with the basic override of the strategy, bird's eye view. It starts simple. Instead of doing one open house on Saturday and then another open house on Sunday, and it's the same house, if it's the same exact house, then all you're doing is doing the same house twice, and that's all that ends up happening. Here's the real strategy. The strategy that we used, it all started many, many years ago when Austin and I actually needed some deals because, it was a slow winter. It was slow.
Because we were
I
broke,
think,
we
I
ain't
think
had
it
no
was
money.
everything bad. We had to go uphill both ways. It was bad. Okay. And so here's what happened. Not only did we need something to happen, we had no way of consistently generating results. So what we just said, hey, what have we had great success with in the past? And that was open houses. And when I first started my career, I got all of my clients from there, and so did Austin. So we said, why don't we just scale this? As real estate agents, we never think to scale the workable things to get clients. So what we thought of is, let's scale open houses. Instead of doing 2 in a weekend, let's try to do as many as humanly possible. Of course, since then, we've actually tailored it down and we've dialed it in. And what it looks like today is this. You hold 8 to 10 different open houses every single weekend. And I know, in this market, that's extremely hard to do. Extremely hard because houses sell immediately. But if you can get them, the goal is to set 8 to 10 open houses in a weekend. All of them are different. So that ranges from Friday to Monday, depending on the schedule that you want. But the goal is you're going to sit 1.5 hour open houses. You're going to have 30 minutes to tear one down, build another one up, and start that one. So you can actually schedule them in 2-hour increments. On Saturday and Sunday, the goal is to sit 4 on each day. If you're going to shoot for more, you could try to get 1 or 2 on a Friday or 1 or 2 on a Monday as well. It doesn't matter when you're doing them. The fact is, if you're doing them, people will show up. It's that simple. So that's the overriding theme, is do more keep them shorter. Why? Because of consumer behavior. Consumers don't care if you're a buyer today. I don't care if you're here for 3 hours or if you're here for an hour and a half. All I see is I have to be there between this time and this time. So I will make it a priority to go during that time to that time. So 1 to 4 is dead. That's no longer going to be a thing in the future market. They need it when they want it, or they see it as a time window, and they'll show up at that time. So not only are you skewing your opportunity by about 8 times by holding 8 to 10 different open houses, you're also increasing your opportunity by putting more people in the house at a time. Because when you get more people in the house at a time, it feels like it's a busier open house. Everybody knows that. It creates buzz. And when you have buzz on your side as the open house representative, you also are going to have better results in getting the clientele's information. Because for whatever reason, believe it or not, the buyers are going to associate you and the quality of your representation based on the quality of the house that you're sitting at and the amount of people walking through that house. So if you can mix both of them and you can also make sure that lots of people are in there, you're going to have amazing results. Here's the kicker. If you can get multiple houses that are near the same price point and you're sitting that many homes in the same day or the same 2 days, there's a good chance you're actually going to see the same clients over and over again to build even more rapport in the marketplace.
Which is a lot of fun.
And that makes a big difference. So that's the overriding concept, guys. If you want the specific schedule and you want that sent out to you, send us your email address, tell us that you want the specific schedule, and we will send you a written out schedule, because we like to time block things, and we do have one in place. If you want one, we can send one to you.
And real quick, I'm going to go ahead and type my email address into the chat. If you guys want it, part of what Garth is referring to is our ebook. We wrote this a while back, but it clearly outlines our open house strategy and there's a lot of great information in that. So back to you, Garth.
Alrighty. So without further ado, let's hop right into the training. So sure, you've scheduled out all of your opens. You're going to sit, let's just say you're sitting 8 of them. That's great. Congratulations. But now how do you get the clients at them? You know, I mean, obviously, if you're just sitting at the house and you're one of those agents and they're doing this, they're here, they're sitting at the couch and they say, hey, welcome to the open house. Take a look around. Have a good day. You're not getting any clients from that. Why are you even sitting at that open house? Why did you leave your family and take your whole day to set up this open house? No, your goal is to get clients. You need to initially and immediately take control of the sales process. That's the goal. They're walking into the house for one of 2 reasons. Well, it's really 3, but it's one of 2. Either they're going to sell their house and they're looking for competition, updates, and update ideas for their own house. They're interested in the market. Or they're a buyer and they're looking to find a house. It's one of the 2 options, and that's it. So nobody's just thinking, oh, let's just drive around for no reason and look at houses. It doesn't exist. So take control of the sales process right when they walk through the door. That's where it all starts.
A lot of times they'll even tell you, especially if it's one of the neighbors, they'll even tell you, oh, no, I'm just a neighbor and I want to look. A big portion of that is they are actually looking for update ideas, and they might actually be considering selling. So don't let that little, what's the word I'm looking for? That little argument there stop you from really trying to get them as a client, because they more than likely are a client.
Just a neighbor means just a listing. Remember that. Okay, now let's walk into the very beginning. Oh, was that it? Was that a truth? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here's the deal, guys. Right before you do anything, prep the house, turn on all the lights, open up all the blinds, make it look phenomenal, make it smell awesome. Make sure you smell awesome, because that's important too. Then after 100%. All that's done, you want to start out by having a great attitude. If you have a bad attitude, you're definitely not getting transactions from these people. Nobody wants to work with somebody who's a sourpuss. So do not have a bad attitude. You have to start with an amazing attitude that attracts people. So that's number 1. So if you have to, jump up and down and be like, I need a great attitude. You got to loosen up and you got to be awesome. That will differentiate you between all the other agents that are lackadaisical, laying down on the couch, not paying attention to their needs, wants, and desires, and you're going to give that to them. So you meet them right at the door. You see them coming up the driveway. Oh, there's people. I heard a car door. I pop right up real quick. Go to the door. You meet them, greet them at the door, and you say, hey, please leave your shoes here. Booties are over there. And you start that process immediately. You say, I know you probably saw this online, that this is 2,500 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. This is the lot size. Where would you like to start?
What's the most important room of the house for you guys? Like what's going to be the deciding factor? If you don't like the kitchen, is that going to be a deal breaker for you? Awesome. Cool.
Great. We'll start there. Boom. And then you start the guided tour. Now, biggest objection you're going to get here is, we just want to look at the house. Great. Let's start here. And you just shepherd them in. You don't want to create too much friction in the immediate onset, but you want to get to the heart of their desire right when they start. So if they just give it to you, great, take that. Like they say, it's the kitchen. Great, let's go there right now. And if they say, we just want to look at the house, that normally would be treated by most agents as an objection. Like they just don't want me around them and they don't like me.
That's the word I was looking for.
That's not true. They're not saying that. They just are saying, they just want to look at the house. In other words, shut up, show us the house. So do that. Shut up. Great. Let's look here first, and make sure that you do not just let them walk by themselves. If they do, and they're really, really pushing hard, really, really hard, you're probably not going to get them as a buyer client anyway. So don't worry about it. So, but your goal is to err on the side that you're probably too passive. Almost everybody that I see in this business, too passive. They don't go too aggressive. Almost all of them too passive. So you take control of the process. That's step one.
And in reality, it's really hard to actually be too aggressive, because you're always in your mind thinking, oh, I wouldn't really want someone doing that. And you always end up being almost twice as much not aggressive and passive as you think you're actually being.
Yeah, it's true. So as you're touring them, let's say they said, nah, we just want to look at the house. Great. And then we start in the living room because it happens to be right next to the door. Here's the goal. I'm going to show them the house. And here's the other thing. When you walk the house and you're turning on all the lights, make sure that you keep a mental note of all the specific upgrades most buyers aren't going to notice. Does it have a Lazy Susan that does one of those really cool pull out and flip things? What type of countertops do they have? Are they quartz, granite, marble, formica? What are they? What type of cabinetry? Do we have soft close cabinets in there? What type of specifics are clients going to very much care about, but maybe not necessarily notice the nuances of? Because I want to show that during my tour, so that I show competency, that if you choose to work with me and we look at other properties, I can show you things that you don't necessarily know. For example, if you see a specific type of siding, explain it. If you say, oh, this is, say I'm sitting a house and it's a 2003 and it has siding and it's stucco. Well, one thing that I'm going to mention to them is that this is likely EIFS stucco siding. And there's a lot of troubles with that, specifically in the early 2000s, because they didn't do water rerouting properly. So that's one thing that if you choose to go forward with this house, we might want an inspector to look at to make sure that this one was done properly originally, or was remediated later. So little things like that, make sure you make mental notes of as you're touring them. So let's say that you're touring them, you're walking them along, look at this, look at that, look at that, look at this. And your main goal is to find out these 5 specific answers. 5 questions, they're listed below. It all starts with what brings you to blank. And let's say you're in Clyde Hill, and you've got a gorgeous, $3.5 million home. It's, 4,000 square feet, and it needs a little bit of updating. And you say, what brings you to Clyde Hill today? And they're going to answer. They'll tell you their story. We're selling our house and it's already on the market. Boom. Okay. You probably already have an agent. Done. Right. Yep. Or they'll say, we're flying in from a new state and we're just visiting for 3 days. You're going to learn a lot about their story with this question. And you're going to figure out a lot about their drivers, their motivators. Why are they looking in that neighborhood? If it's that specific neighborhood, is it because of the schools? Is it because of the commute times? What's everything? And based on that, you can tailor your conversation and your rapport building. make sure that that's obviously forefront to the questions. If they like you, they'll work with you regardless of these questions.
And a massive tool in your belt, especially when you're doing open houses, is knowing the neighborhood really well. So try to pick an area that you're really familiar with when you do open houses, because for one, you're going to feel more confident and you're going to be able to talk about it really fluently. For two, they're going to see that you're the neighborhood expert. And for three, you're going to be able to point things out that they might not have known. So, hey, did you know about this restaurant right down the corner? It's amazing. When you're done at the open, if you hadn't had lunch yet, go stop there, try it out. And then, they go try it out. It's amazing. And then they come back to you and you're like, okay, cool. Yeah. You know the neighborhood. You're who I want to work with.
Right. So simple things like that. So the next question you're going to ask is, when are you hoping to be in your new home? Now that might have already been answered with the first question, but if it hasn't been, this is a question that gets to their heart of their timeline. Is it quick? Is it long? And that's just something you need to know. Now, the next one, what are the steps you've taken to get there? And this is the direct follow-up question to that question. So if they say, we want to be in our home in May 1st is when we want to be in our new home. What are the steps you've taken to get there? And now this is a very open-ended question, because what it allows them to do is say none. Or it says, well, we've spoken to lenders and we've found a real estate agent. All of these questions are also asking, do you have an agent? Because if the first question was, our agent sent it to us, you know why they're in the neighborhood, done. If the next question was, when are you hoping? Well, our agent said it should be this much time in this day, right? And then what are the steps you've taken? Well, we talked to our real estate agent. They sent us a lender, right? For example, you're going to find out whether they have an agent in these questions passively as well. Because if you ask the direct question, do you have an agent? The answer will always be yes. Here's why. They don't want to be sold. So stop selling them. Explain to them. Become that knowledge broker, and they will come to you. That's the important thing. So question number 4, after they've said, we want to be there in May, and let's just say for this example, they say, we want to be in our new house in May, and we haven't done anything. We're brand new buyers, and we have never, ever done, we have never bought a house. We don't know what we're doing at all. And you say, well, have you ever had a buyer's consultation? They say, we have no idea what that even is. And then you say, well, have you delved into financing yet? You don't need to say that, because we already know that they haven't done anything. Now, if they've said, you probably already know this, but if you haven't figured out whether they've gotten their financing figured out yet, ask the question eventually. And the whole point of this is to figure out where they're at in this process. If you know that they're at the point that says, hey, we need to have a consultation, the whole point of the rest of this open house is to get them to pivot in to doing a consultation with us on the spot. I don't want to wait. I don't want to make it till Monday. I don't want to make it after the open. I don't want to make it anytime but right now, because you're going to go to another open house and you're going to have a rapport with another agent, and they're going to set a time with you too. I'm going to eliminate the time. I'm going to eliminate the travel. We're going to do it right now. Today, you will be educated by me. I will become your authority, and you will then listen to me as the expert. That's what will happen. Now, I think we just had a relevant question pop through.
Before we hop into that, getting onto the buyer's consultation as well, doing that with them right at the moment, it makes them feel even more special, because you're taking the time out of your open house to stop, meet with them, walk them through the entire process, instead of just saying, oh, I'll get to you when I'm done with this. Right. When you're stopping at everything that you're doing just to inform them on the process, they absolutely love it, and it will help you get buyers 9 times out of 10.
It is a higher
level. So real quick, guys, we're gonna pause for a second. We've gotten a couple questions already. I have them jotted down here, so we are gonna circle back for a Q&A. So if you guys have questions, be thinking about them, because we want to have an open conversation. You can type them into the chat. Once we get to the Q&A, we'll bring you on and you can, unmute your mic, all that kind of stuff. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and answer one question. And then Garth, I want you to keep going through some of the content that we have here. Amy asks, how many brokers are holding open houses right now? I'm seeing showing time is completely booked out with appointments Thursday through Sunday. So most agents aren't holding opens. Let's answer this one question, then we'll proceed.
Okay. The answer is, you are correct. Almost none are holding opens, and that's the opportunity.
Well, and even if it is booked back to back to back, what you can tell the agent is, hey, there's a limit of 10 people in the house. I understand it's booked back to back. If I host an open, we might be able to get 2 groups in at a time. Now you're getting more feet through the door, and there's a higher chance of you getting offers.
Yeah, because you got to remember, you can pivot this as an opportunity for the listing agent because they're probably too lazy to hold their own opens. That's like 99% of the time. But here's the difference. According to current legislation, we can only have 6 people in a house at a private appointment, but you can have 10 plus agent at the open houses. So you can actually have double the groups looking, or double the amount of people looking, and speed in and out of that house if there is an open house there. So it's actually still to the listing agent's benefit, even if it is fully booked, because then there's maybe less of a traffic jam. Maybe you get a few people that weren't able to schedule it, because that's also becoming an issue. Buyers agents aren't even able to schedule the homes that they want to tour, and you'll be giving that opportunity to more buyers agents because there's more allowable people in the household. So that's okay.
One other thing is that showing time does have a limit to how many showings can actually get scheduled. And when you have an open house, you're going to be able to increase that. And believe it or not, that is actually valuable right now, because, you know, people are, like you're saying, Amy, like people are not able to actually even show houses sometimes because it's so booked. An open house can help solve that and ultimately generate more offers. Now, Garth, this slide right now that we're on, are you done with this slide?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So real quick, guys, just wanted to take a quick break. We're going to be holding in 2 weeks a super fun workshop and 30-day challenge. Now, this is going to be awesome because it is going to be all around listings. It's going to be about how to acquire listings. So we're going to talk about practical strategies on how you can get more listings, how to do the actual listing appointment. This is going to be our proven formula that we've used to win listings like all the time. Our losing percentage is very, very low, and it's because we have a specific process we use to do the listing. So we're going to share that with you and go over it in detail, answer all your questions. And then we're going to also show you what's even more important, which is something that I think people sometimes talk about, but they don't talk about it in the way that we do. And that is how to turn your listing into many, many deals. Our average customer that we get from cold acquisition turns into 2 or more transactions on average. So we're going to go through how you can take that cold lead or that cold acquisition of a customer and turn that into multiple customers that just keep coming back and keep sending their friends and all of that great stuff. And in addition to that, you're also going to get 4 group coaching calls because it's a 30-day challenge. So over the course of a month, we're going to hold weekly meetings that you're allowed to attend to. And we're going to go over training, success stories, what's working for people, what's not working for people. So if you find yourself in a position today where you would like to get more listings and start doing more transactions, specifically on the listing side, please check the chat right now. This is going to be limited, but what you're going to see when you go on to the chat is you're going to see a page like this. So please go there right now and register for it. Like I said, we're going to have a limitation on how many people are actually allowed to attend. Zoom does have restrictions, and we are planning on putting some ads into this training because it's going to be awesome. It's going to help a lot of people. So we're very excited for this. So please go there now. Make sure to register, and let's go ahead and continue on with the open house training.
And one last thing there before we do that, what we've done is we've made it into a process, right? How do you get a listing and turn that into multiple transactions? There's a process to that. And it's not the biggest problem with real estate agents growing businesses is they haven't systemized or created processes inside of their business. And that's what you need to do. The process will build the business.
Yeah.
Now, pivot back in.
Sorry, Garth. One second. I just want to say thank you to Angie, Dean, Mark, Douglas, Amy, Matt, Brandon, Reed, Jennifer, Derek, Christina, Jennifer, and Barbara for registering for the event. So seriously, guys, check the chat, please, and sign up today because seats are going to be limited. It is free, and it's going to be super awesome. All right, Garth, back to you.
What are you guys doing?
Are you a competitive person? Because it's a challenge.
I like challenges.
We are challenging you to get into this group and get 1 listing in a month.
Everybody better get a listing this month from this group. And if you don't, I'm going to be bagging you. You're going to get phone calls from us. What are you doing? Why are you not doing the process? Why are you not doing the stuff and the steps that it takes to make it happen? And then from that listing, You already know what the next challenge is going to be. It's more. Anyway, let's roll back into the open houses, everybody. As the open house comes to an end, like I said, you got those 5 vital pieces of information. You've toured them through the house. You've shown them that you're the knowledge broker, and you've done all of that. And then normally I finish my tours upstairs because somehow that's just what ends up happening. And you end at the master bathroom or the master bathroom bedroom, that area, because I specifically choose that to be the last spot. And then as we're coming downstairs, I then say, especially if they haven't done a buyer's consultation yet, well, do you have 30, a few minutes to go through a buyer's consultation right now? And you transition into that. And Stuart, I'll let you take that portion of it.
Yeah. So I mean, especially with first-time home buyers, this is when it's a huge tool for you. You can come in and say, hey guys, give me 5 minutes. Let's walk through the whole process. I'll show you exactly from A to Z, exactly what you can expect from getting pre-approved all the way to getting your keys. Do you have just like 3 to 5 minutes? Let's go into the kitchen. Let's talk about this. Usually they'll say, yeah, because they're super curious. Even if they do have an agent, they still want to know.
Yeah, absolutely accurate.
Austin, next slide.
On to the next one. Now, here's the other thing.
Real quick. If they say no, you say, did you cover this? I don't think so.
Well, I guess if they say no, you say you suck. No, I'm just kidding. If they say no, it's okay, completely fine. When would be a good time for us to get together and actually walk through the process? Because they gave you that objection of, I don't have time. They didn't give you the objection of, no, I don't want to do a consultation.
It's true.
And even if they did, still set up a time. So you're setting up a time. Okay, cool. What does your schedule look like? Is usually what I go to. I'll just pull out my phone. I won't even be looking at, all right, what does your schedule look like? Does tomorrow at 3 o'clock work instead? I won't give them the option to say, oh, well, no. We just instantly go to a time. Perfect. What's a good phone number for you?
Yep.
Because I'm going to send you my business card now.
So real quick on that, guys, just to give you guys some practical example of what Garth and I did. This was even before we started Park Place. We would hold a lot of opens together, and that was really helpful in a lot of situations because number one, he and I just work really, really well together. We have a great flow. We complement each other's strengths, strengths. And so what would happen a lot of times is we would be at an open, we would walk them through, we would go and do literally everything that we're talking about right now. And then what would happen is like, hey, we can't do this consultation right now, but we could maybe do it in like an hour. Well, we had other opens lined up. So what would happen is one of us would run off, we would do the buyer's consultation, go take them out, do some showings. And in many cases, when we did this process, while the other person went and finished up the open houses and tried to get more leads, when we did this process, we were able to get this lead. This is one of the things that led to us. We talk about it in a future email that you'll probably see from us. We closed 3 transactions and got 3 transactions under pending in 30 days. In a time where we really needed some transactions. That was partly in doing this exact process and then going out and meeting with them later and doing the buyer consultation and then touring them properties. So I think Garth would agree with this, that speed is key. And so if you get the opportunity to try to set something up for that same day, if you can, because they're thinking about it, they're out looking at properties. If you can meet with them on that same day, they might just put in an offer on that day.
So more than ever, it makes sense to have 2 people at an open house, not only for that great ability to break off, have whoever's the most competent at the buyer's consultation take over that portion, and whoever's maybe a little bit better at doing the open houses and creating that immediate rapport, stay there. So you want to break off, do that. And not only does it give you that ability, it also gives you the ability to maintain the specific capacity of the home, so you can make sure that everybody's safe and comfortable with the home's capacity. So you win on both fronts. So right now, more than ever before, it makes a lot of sense to have 2 people running open houses.
Then on top of that, especially if you're focusing on those micro markets that you're really familiar with, you'll learn about houses that are on the market that might fit what that buyer's looking for. So, hey, you're looking for a 4-bed, 2.5 bath in this specific neighborhood. Oh, hey, I actually know of one that just hit the market yesterday. They're not doing an open house there today, but you know what? Hey, Garth, how about you give them a phone call and see if you can go show it like right now?
Oh, let me try. And then I
Boom.
break
Now
off.
we just got to show it.
Have the phone call. Yes, I can show it right now. Boom. Hey guys, come on. We can take a look at this one that you couldn't look at today because they didn't have time. And maybe you could squeeze me in between showings or whatever. And that just created an opportunity from nothing. And that's something that you guys really need to take into account. Now, finishing up the cycle. So we have that. We have the consultation, which, by the way, we're going to show you guys how to do. But say we have the consultation, it went great. I get their phone number, their name, their firstborn child. No, but I do take a lot of their information down. I take everything down that I can. And then from that, I hand them a business card. We get all their information. And here's the kicker. I also give them an exact copy of what we're going to go through here today as a consultation in physical form and a gift. Always have a gift because it makes a big difference. You don't want people to walk away empty-handed when you've had a great experience together. So we use Ferrero Rocher because we're partial to hazelnut. I'm kidding, but I'm also not, because it's fancy and it looks good and it looks great on marketing materials as well. So we put that together with our packet and our consultation. We hand that to them. Thank you so much. Thank you for meeting with me. I look forward to helping you through your journey. And at the end, that's going to be your client. Absolutely. If you can get through this entire process, they will work with you. They will commit to you. They will believe in you as their representative. And so I think without further ado, that's kind of loops in the open houses.
Before we go into that, I will say business cards is actually one of the worst things that's happened to real estate for people doing open houses, because they use it as an out. You don't want to ask the tough question of, hey, give me your phone number, because it's really awkward. You don't like doing it. And people don't like giving your phone number. You just hand them a business card. Well, now all you're doing is sitting by your phone waiting for them to call you. If you, instead of handing them a card, we give our agents an e-card, so it looks exactly like your business card, but you can text it to them. You just get their phone number, you text them your card, and you can even say, hey, man, I live in the 21st century. I don't carry around paper cards anymore.
And this
that gives you 100% of the power.
And this e-business card is corona free.
Yeah, right. So here's the way that I love to phrase this, guys. If you ever tell me, like, if I ever hear somebody say, can I have your phone number? Gosh, that's so bad. That's like lining yourself up to be shot down. Learn how to ask the right question. It's this: what's the best number to reach you at? I'm not asking you for your phone number. I'm saying, what's the best number for you to be reached at? Not can I have your phone number? It's what is it? What's the best way to reach you?
People love people that are assertive.
People want you to ask, but also don't ask in a way that's going to be shot down. Can I have your number? No. Okay. What's the best number to reach you at? And then I look at my phone, I put their name in my contact information, and I'm waiting. Is it a mobile number?
Boom.
And I'm just sitting waiting. That's fine. I'll wait. You want to wait in the silence? I'll wait in the silence 20 seconds. Yep. Is it 25? And then the next little push, use your specific area as a reference point. If you're on the east side, 425 Seattle area, maybe a little bit north, it's 206. It's a little bit south, it's 253 or 360. Start the number. Is it, so know where you're located. Maybe I'm in Bellevue and I say, it starts with what, 425? And then they say, no, it's 206, or they'll say, yeah, 425, da. Great, now I have it. Right? So live in the silence. Then if all else fails and the silence is lasting too long and can't handle it anymore, guess the initial area code. Yeah. And that'll push things along.
Garth, this is so good. Like, everything you're saying is like so gold. But unfortunately, we have to move on, guys. We have to move on to the next part of this meeting.
Buyer's consultation.
Yep. So real quick, guys, I'm going to be typing into the chat. We really want to stay connected with all of you guys. We're trying to build more than just a real estate brokerage, because that's kind of boring. We're trying to build like a community. We understand that not everybody works at Park Place, and that's totally fine. We want to be connected with you anyways. So what you'll see in the chat is our Park Place Instagram, and then all people that actually own a Park Place branch. If you guys wouldn't mind, give us a follow and then send us a message so that we can follow you guys back. Again, we're really trying to build a community here. We care about you guys. We care about community. And so we're really excited. So if you guys wouldn't mind, take a second, go there now, because we're going to be moving on to other stuff. If you guys could give us a quick follow, that would be fantastic. And then Stuart, I'm going to have you, if you wouldn't mind, just sharing a little bit about your story and the role that open houses have really played on you and your story. Maybe just like 1 or 2 minutes here, because we're going to have to move on to the next thing. But I think people will get some value from hearing a little bit more about you.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, I started with Park Place pretty much right when it started up. I came from a brokerage. I had been there for about a year, was really struggling to get my business off the ground. Talked to Garth and Austin a bit. They gave me this strategy, said, hey, have you done open houses in the past? Yeah, they'd never worked for me. I did them a lot. Okay, well, try it this way. I switched it up. I think I did one day I did open houses with Garth and just kind of sat back and watched him. Saw what he did. I was like, all right, cool, I can do that. So I went out and started doing opens on my own. I brought another guy with me so that he could, again, we could split off and do whatever we were doing. But I ended up building my business, and my first year with Park Place, I think I did 12 or 13 deals specifically from open houses. And a lot of agents think open houses are a complete waste of time. I will tell them that I'm in the place that I am at right now. I own Park Place Olympia. I'm managing this stuff with these guys. I grew it strictly from open houses. I basically did zero lead gen other than open houses for an entire year and did 13 deals just from that.
Yeah. And I built my entire sales business from when I started way back almost a decade ago from open houses as well. I had no connections, no money. I was 19 years old, kid with a dream, and I looked like I was 10. And I said, the only thing I have on my side is I can talk kind of good. That's it. and maybe people will like me if they meet me, because if they meet you online, and here's the thing that a lot of people are discounting today. You hope to get all your online leads, and that's good and that's great. And you want to drive Facebook leads and online traffic and all this stuff. But here's what that's missing. You're missing that boot to boot, that face to face, the flesh to flesh human connection that can differentiate you from everybody else. And that's how I built my business, how he built his, how so many people we've been able to retweak their businesses and turn nothing into almost a deal a month from this strategy alone. And it's consistent across the board. Anybody who truly follows that system, you will get more clientele from it. So pay attention to that. You can rewatch it. This will be recorded and sent out. So you can always rewatch that. There is a system. It's specific. And if you do it, it works. So let's hop into the buyer's process and let's walk through. So when you're doing that consultation, this is when you're going to start talking to them, what you're going to say, how you're going to say it. And actually everybody at Park Place, you guys obviously already have access to this in our training course, but you want to start them off?
Yeah. So basically the first thing we start talking about, okay, before you even start looking at houses, I know you're already here at this open house, but before we even start looking at anything, you guys need to get the pre-approval done. This will let you know the price point that you're looking at. It'll let you know exactly what your monthly payment's going to be so that you can know what you're comfortable buying. I'd hate for you to go out and start looking at homes, find something that you love, and in this market, it'll be sold before you can get pre-approved. But even if it's not, you might find out that you can't afford it. Now you're heartbroken and you're kind of discouraged from looking and getting your own home. And who knows, that might even push you into renting again. When you could 100% buy a house. So it is absolutely of the most importance to get you guys pre-approved before we start doing anything.
Yeah. And at this point, if they're like, well, I'm talking to this bank and I'm talking to, whoever, I always want to say, more important than getting pre-approved is getting pre-approved by somebody competent.
100%.
I need to be, right, we're building our team. Right? We're going to make a team that's going to work together through this journey together. And if we don't have great players on every piece of our team playing the right position at the right time, we're going to lose the game. Right? And in today's market, we're playing a game. We got to win the game to win the house and then close the house. And we need a strong team. So your lender has to be an amazing, amazing player. The lender is basically like the wide receiver. Right? Absolutely. I have to be the quarterback in the deal, make sure everybody's doing their job, make sure that we find the right thing, make sure that we call the right play, and you're the coach. right? You're going to tell us what we do, which play we execute, and then we're going to make sure that it happens. If I'm an amazing QB and I throw the perfect pass and he runs the perfect button hook, but then drops the ball, we're still going to lose the game, right? So at the end of the day, we need a lender that'll catch that pass. And so more than just getting your pre-approval letter done, we need to make sure that it's a competent person that can communicate well and will communicate well with the other side so that we can ultimately win the contract as well. And so these are the things that I want to walk people through so that not only they believe in that's how it should work, but you're also building your credibility, your knowledge of the process, your knowledge of the way that the process should work. And if you listen to the story I just said, that story is relatable to people. People can understand it. People then get the idea that, hey, I'm in control of this process and I'm working for them in conjunction with the other parties. And not only is that all happening, right? I'm also articulating my understanding of the way that it works, the way that it functions, and they're going to be able to perceive it that way. They'll say, oh, I kind of get that. I get how that works and what everybody's roles are. And so always best to sell with stories.
100%. So once we've got them to the point where we've educated them on getting pre-approved, we're going to say, after you guys get pre-approved and we know what we're looking for, we're going to sit down and we're going to have another meeting. We're going to sit down and we're going to look at everything that's on the market. We're going to define your criteria. We're not going to look at your absolute wants. We're going to look at what you absolutely need in a house. So if you want 3 bedrooms, but 2 bedrooms will work, we're going to run our search off of 2 bedrooms. So we're going to define it to the absolute needs, bare bones, and we'll run it from there. So that'll take the thousands of houses that are on the market and
Hundreds.
limit them down. Well, yeah, in this market, hundreds, and limit them down to probably 30.
10.
In this market, yes, unfortunately, but depending on the buyer and their budget, it can be more.
That's true. Could be.
So it'll probably narrow it down to between 10 and 30. And then based off of those, we're going to pick our favorite 5. So we're going to look through all 30 of those homes or all 10 of those homes, pick your favorite 5, and the same day we're going to go look at them because tomorrow they might be gone. When we're looking at those houses, we're going to go tour them all and we're going to do it very systematically. So this first house, we're going to look at everything. At the end of it, before we get to our car, I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask them, hey guys, can you see yourselves living in this home? Do you like it? I'll get either a yes or a no or maybe. Okay, cool. If I get a no, hey, forget this house even exists. If I get a maybe or a yes, all right, we're going to keep it on the list for now. We move on to house number 2, do the same thing. We look through the house as soon as we leave, we're getting closer to the cars. All right, can you guys see yourselves living in this? Yes, no, maybe. If they say yes, awesome. Is it better than house number 1? Can you see yourselves in this one over that one? Yeah, probably. All right, cool. House number 1 is completely gone now. This is the house. And then we do it over and over and over again. At the end of the day, most of the time they've picked a house. Okay, you guys say that you can see yourselves living in this house. You love it. You've eliminated the other 4. Are you ready to put in an offer?
Simple.
It's easy.
Super simple. And especially so you look at first house, we don't like it. Second house, we like it. Third house, we don't like it as much as house number 2. Fourth, we still like number 2. Fifth, we still like number 2. You know what? We really like number 2. Either you've already decided or you want to go back and look because we've already picked, like we eliminated 25 houses to look at these based on the photos, based on the geographical area, based on like the aesthetic of the feel, the flow, because you can basically understand the floor plans and everything else. So we already limited it to the top few that you like anyways. And then this is the best of the best of the best. And it's the only thing out that we've already looked at everything out there that's pertinent to you. So let's deal with the paperwork. And that's really easy to get people to
absolutely. And there's
to agree with.
2 big reasons why we do it this way. One, it is really streamlined and efficient. So it makes your buyers know, hey, this guy knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
And 2, it keeps you from wasting your time.
Win-win.
Because if you're just sending them emails, it's like, oh, we want to look at this 1 today, or we want to look at 2 tomorrow, or that's 100% wasting your time.
Yes.
Boom. So now we've picked that house that they absolutely love. Awesome. We're going to submit an offer. You've given us the play. We're going to be the quarterback right now, and we're going to toss off this offer to the sellers. Of course, since we're amazing quarterbacks and we work with amazing lenders, we win and we go pending.
It's that simple. Boom, we're pending now. Woo, woo, woo. That's when the real process all begins. And this is when you start having to pay some money. Okay, so remember, if you are the buyer, and this changes Obviously, guys, if you're an agent now and you're not a new agent or a brand new person, you know that earnest money fluctuates. If you're in a buyer's consultation like this is probably directed towards somebody that's a first-time buyer, and normally that is a percentage of the purchase price, something like that. Upwards, sometimes when you get into that, $1 million, $2 million range, obviously sometimes it's not exactly a percentage, it can be different. Or if you're trying to do something like win based on earnest money and it being released, that's a different conversation. But if you're having this specific conversation with a new first-time buyer, saying 1% of the purchase price is realistic.
Yep.
So you say, hey, we're looking at $500,000 houses. Just be aware that you're probably going to put $5,000 to $10,000 in earnest money.
A lot of first-time home buyers, they don't know what earnest money is.
They don't even know.
Trying to explain it kind of confuses them. The easiest way that I have ever found to explain it is consider it putting the home on layaway.
And it's like a security deposit.
It lets the sellers know you're serious about buying their home because you're putting your cash on the line. We put contingencies in place to protect your money in case something's wrong with the house and we need to back out. But if we get to the end of the deal, it's the day before close, everything's come back perfect, and you guys just decide, screw it, we're walking away, we don't want to buy anymore, you guys are risking losing that money.
Yeah. Now, all right, home inspections. Few things here. You want to get a home inspection if you can. This market's crazy. Now, normally I say, try to get a home inspection. These markets, if it's a condo, I basically tell them, it's a toss-up. You're probably not going to need it. I know this is a horrible thing, and I hate putting liability on myself, but here's the reality. The master insurance policy of the homeowners association covers all of the exterior, the siding, the roofing, all of the foundational issues, all of the landscaping maintenance. The only thing your inspector is going to tell you is whether there's a tipping hazard in your stove, or whether the little electrical outlets work. If you want, maybe just take a little extra time during the showing and look at it more thoroughly. Like
$20 at Home Depot.
Yeah, I mean, you get the little $6 or whatever.
Yeah.
You can click it, make sure the plugs work, turn on the dishwasher, make sure it works. I mean, that's all the inspector's really going to be able to accomplish. And so, but a lot of pre-inspections happening, and just coach them through what a home inspection is, why it's helpful, why they might have to actually waive it to win.
There you go. Boom. Down payment. Obviously, you're going to tell them, hey, this varies depending on what you're pre-approved at. When we're doing this consultation, usually they've already gotten pre-approved. They probably already know what it is. They probably have the same, if not a better idea of what their down payment looks like than you. But if you're doing this at the open house, you can say, hey, as a first-time homebuyer, there's programs out there for you to get potentially 0 down. What's really common right now is either 0 down, 3.5%, or 5%. Used to be really common that you needed 20%. We're not in the 1900s anymore. You guys are good.
Yeah. That being said, if they are looking for properties and they're a brand new buyer and they're looking for like a $1.1 million house, they are going to have some more sophisticated financing options, like a first down 5%, because maybe they don't have the 20, but they're going to be forced to put down at least 20 because the 776 maximum. So they're going to have to maybe get a second interest only loan. And so talk to the lenders, make sure that you're well versed in the financial options that are available depending on the price points that you're working with specifically. But most of you will pretty much be dealing with the 5% being necessary and more being better. That being said, ADs are super, super important in bridging that appraisal. So if you're going to have to, if nothing else, put a lower down payment cost and put in an AD. That's more helpful than if you can go 10% or 5%, go 5% and throw in an AD. That's going to win more multiple offer situations than the other way around. Now, closing costs, explain to them what those are. Their lender should also explain to them what those are. Depending on purchase price, that could range anywhere from 2.8% all the way down to about 1.25%, 1.4%, depending on the purchase prices.
Yep. Boom. So then you just go over with them and recap. Earnest money, you're looking at that percentage or dollar mark depending on the purchase price of the home. Home inspection anywhere between $400 or $600. Unless it's a condo, then you probably don't need one. Down payment, whatever they've talked about with their lender. Closing costs, again, that 1 point whatever to 2.8.
Now, and then at the end of it, you talk about why would you pick us to help represent you? Well, it's because you're going to get as many tours as you need until we find the place. We're going to do the property research. We'll make sure the tax record's proper and accurate. We'll write all the offers. We'll protect your earnest money. We're going to break down the home inspection to what's relevant, what's possible to actually maybe get. What can you actually do as far as timelines? We need to make sure that your lender's doing their job, right? We need to make sure that the team is running their place. And that's why you hire us. We negotiate it, not just negotiate it for best price and terms, because that's not the market that we're in. Now, when the market does pivot and shift, that will be a different game. It'll be a different world. And we'll be talking about negotiating your closing costs, negotiating your price down, negotiating based on comparables and the way the market's trending. But that's a different world. And then be a full-time representative. If you're not a full-time representative and you're dealing with a high maintenance client, I always suggest teaming up with somebody else who
100%.
is, or somebody else who's part-time, so you can make together a combined full-time representative, because doing this part-time is extremely difficult. That being said, it's very possible. A lot of us started there, but it is a lot harder. And it's a very helpful pinpoint to say, I'm always here.
Yep.
Most people can't, and that does differentiate you.
Yep. And real quick, so basically, guys, the importance of this part of the presentation, this is actually, believe it or not, it is actually one of the most important slides in this presentation, because what you are doing is you are building up what you're worth and your value. And the reason why it's so important to do that at this part of the presentation is because in the next part of the presentation, we're going to be asking them to sign a buyer's agency agreement. Garth, continue on.
Yeah. So what you're doing there is you're stacking and you're building value. Because what happens is today buyers agents are heavily commoditized. Everybody wants a rebate. Everybody wants it for cheaper. Everybody wants you to just open the door. Nobody wants a buyer's agent. You're a necessary evil. Just embrace that. That's okay. Nobody wants you. Nobody wants you to help them. You're just there because you're in the way and you're a part of the process. That's literally the truth. And as much as we hate it as agents, that's the truth. And once you embrace that and you say, well, here's why you're going to work with me, because I'm going to be a different process. I'm going to make things smooth. I'm going to make things streamlined. I'm going to make that process easy for you. I'm going to be more than the chauffeur door opener. I'm going to be your representative, and that is different. Now,
you need to know when you're wanting to buy a house that has 10, 20, 30 offers, that the agent that's representing you will get your offer accepted.
And that's hard to do. And at the end of the day, I can't guarantee that we're going to get your offer done, because here's what happens. And this is what I tell everybody. First off, I'm free. You don't even pay me. Yeah. The seller eventually pays me through the proceeds of the sale. Eventually, when we finally close and everybody's happy, you get your keys. I get a paycheck a few days later because of the way the wires work. But here's the thing that's crazy. A lot of times I won't win my offers because I'm going to always suggest to you, say we walk all the 5 houses, you like house number 2, we come down to it and we say, let's write an offer on it. I'm going to suggest to you, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, this is probably the offer that it takes to win this house. I'm going to give you a proposal. We need to write it for this price. These are the terms. This is what's likely. If we write this way, in this way, with these terms, we will probably win. Would you like to do that? And then a lot of times buyers will tell me, no, we want to do this. Great. You're the coach. I'm going to do that play. We might still lose the game. We might decide to run Marshawn Lynch at the 1 and lose the Super Bowl, but that's not the point, right? We might still lose the game because we play a horrible play, but that is not my fault. I'm going to do what I'm told, and we're going to do the best we can. And if we lose, just remember that this is what I always say. If we lose and I told you what to do, what I'll try to do is talk to the other agents, see where they landed, and explain. Because the more that happens, the more you're positioned like the expert. Eventually, they will write what you say. If you lose once or twice, they're going to write what you say on the third one, especially if you pre-frame the conversation to be what it needs to be. Now, that's pretty much it.
Yep. So real quick, thank you guys so much. So what we're going to do, actually, because we're not going to end yet, we were hoping to keep this right around an hour. It looks like it is going to go a bit over. So thank you so much for the time. I hope you guys are getting some good value out of this. So what we're going to be doing now is transitioning into the Q&A. We want to get interactive with all of you guys. So If you guys are having questions, please make sure to type them into the chat. Real quick, check out the chat because I put in our link again for our upcoming workshop and 30-day challenge. Now, if you guys are wanting to get more listings and you guys have gotten some value from today's training, this upcoming workshop on how to get more listings is going to be even more in depth. And there's going to be a lot of follow-up training that goes involved with this, because this one today, it's like we're doing an hour and 15, whatever. And that's pretty much it that goes into this training. But if you come to this one, not only are you going to get all of our practical strategies on how to get more listings, we're going to walk you through our proven formula for winning a listing every single time, even in a market like what we're in right now. We're going to show you how to turn those listings into more and more and more and more business. You're going to love that. And then you get the 4 group coaching calls where we're going to have our meetings. You're going to be able to attend, and we're going to go over tons of valuable content. So if you guys got value from today, it looks like pretty much everybody has already filled out the this page right here. If you haven't yet, please go and do that now. Seating is going to be limited, so please go and do that now. Now let's go ahead and hop into the Q&A.
Looks like Reed has already asked a really, really good question.
Yeah, Reed's been doing great. So great to have you with us, Reed. Okay, so how do you handle multiple potential clients in an open house when you are trying to make a personal connection with each person? Obviously, that's not as much of a problem in this market, but for future reference.
Yeah, having the 2 people in the house is huge. 2 agents at the same time is huge because you do have the options, especially when COVID's not around and you have 20 people in the house potentially, whatever. Obviously, that's a killer open, but it lets you double down on the amount of people that you're talking to. And then if it's just me alone and I have 2 groups in the house that are both serious buyers, I'll kind of talk to them both. They're probably not going to come in at the exact same time. So I'll have a chance to talk to them, try to get a connection with them. When the second group comes through, I'll say to the first group that I'm talking to, hey guys, can you give me a second? Feel free to look around a little bit more. I'll introduce myself to the other people and then I'll go back. And I'll kind of play both of them, see which ones I get the better relationship with. And then at the end of it, I'll work the ones that I had the better relationship with a little bit harder, but I'll try to stop that second group before they get out the door and say, hey guys, can you wait just a second? I want to ask you a couple questions, what you thought about the house. I'll be with you guys in like 10 seconds and then finish up real quick and just try to work it both.
So this is the way I do it. We do things a little bit differently. Say I have one group come in. Normally they'll come at least staggered by a few minutes. My goal is to get through my initial, like I said, those 5 questions. If you don't remember them, go back, watch the recorded version when you get it. Those main 5 questions are going to tell you everything you need to know. Yep. If there's any red flags in those 5 questions, I'm out. I'm done. I'm cutting these people off because the reality is that I don't want them as clients. They don't want to work with me. They already have an agent. They're not real qualified, whatever it is. If you see red flags in the 5 main questions, go to the other people. They're a higher opportunity. If you see all things point to go, all things are green lights, these are people that are yours, don't worry about the other people.
Yep. And so Douglas says, who is in Puyallup and ready to partner up on some open houses? DM me. All right, guys, go ahead and DM Douglas. Looks like Angie is touching base in the chat. Ooh, I'm seeing some fire symbols. It's getting sizzling up on this call. I love it. Great to have you guys all with us. Garth, I know that you just kind of covered this a little bit. Somebody asked us at the very beginning. I just want to make sure that this is thoroughly answered so that we're not leaving any questions unanswered. By the way, guys, looks like we're running low on some questions right now. So please go ahead, start typing some stuff into the chat. We want to hear from you. If anyone wants to hop on the call and talk with us live, we would love that. That would be super fun. Looks like Matt has unmuted himself. One second, Matt. Garth, if you could finish this off. If you have multiple buyers in the home, is it better to be present at the door/kitchen or to show a group of buyers the home?
That just completely depends on those 5 questions. Again, step 1, I'm taking control of the tour with the very first people that come in. If I see red flags with the 5, I'm letting them go. I'm just going to let you go, and I'm going to be at the door again for the next opportunity. Beautiful. Because if I know that that's not an opportunity, I'm not wasting time there anymore. I'm on to the next opportunity, right? So if you see all things go, then don't worry about these people because the probability of them being an opportunity is about 1 in 10. So don't worry about the chance that they're a 1 in 10 if you already have a 1 in 10. If I have a 1 in 10, all things are green, I'm not worried about them, because if I lose out on them, I don't care. I'm not going to capitalize on everybody. You never will. If you see a great feeling that that person's your person, follow them, be with them, communicate with them, rapport build with them. That's your client. Remember, the goal is 1 client every weekend, not 5 clients a weekend. It's 1. So if you find a great relationship, great rapport, and all things go, that's your focus. Everything else goes out the window.
Thank you for answering that. Matt, you are live on Zoom. What's going on, brother? Nice to meet you virtually.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm in Spokane, good friends with Skylar and Nate and everyone over there. I wanted to touch on the gift again that you said you give everyone at the open houses. What was that again? And yeah, what was the gift?
Thanks.
Chocolate, man.
So we, bam.
Okay, got it.
That way, there we go. I don't know if you guys see that. This is like $5 or $6 of Ferrero Rocher at like Fred Meyer, Walmart, Winco, wherever. And what we do is we take this and we basically put it on some beautiful materials like these. Mm-hmm. And then we marry that with our buyer's consultation, like we went through that whole consultation. That's printed out and put in with like a laminated thing with a like spiral deal. And then you have all that together and you hand that to them as a package. And that alone is more than they've ever walked away from an open house with.
Yep, that is a good handful. I like it. Also,
you get hungry at open houses so they can munch on them.
Yeah.
No.
Get chocolate all over the house. Who is your preferred lender? Because we're all in Washington here.
Yeah, so we prefer, like personally, and me, Austin, Stewart, we use a guy named Justice Roberts. He is phenomenal. He's a branch partner and either the first or number 1 or 2 in the nation at all of PRMG. And he closes almost about a loan a day, or almost more than a loan a day. He's phenomenal. The communication is there. The execution is there. Just the results are there. And not just that, his team's a well-oiled machine. He's a beast. And the rates are good. Yeah. So, and the product is good, and he's a deal saver. So it's all of those things that, you know, after working in the business for almost a decade, I've ran into a lot of lenders that'll promise a lot and under deliver, or they'll say a lot of things. I've lost 3 deals in 1 day from a lender who was incompetent. All of them were with that lender. And there are so many bad lenders, just like there are so many bad real estate agents. And so when you find one, you want to almost tout them out a little bit. So, but yeah, Justice Roberts at PRMG. He's
Douglas says Justice is amazing, working 3 clients with him now. Do you recommend working with multiple lenders?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I like to have a preferred guy. For me, it's Justice. I always have a couple backups, and you always want to have different people that have niches of different things. For example, Justice is amazing at VA loans, first-time buyers, regular buyers, residential stuff. You also probably are going to want a lender who's well-versed in commercial properties, development properties, multifamily properties. You might run across that, and you need to have a good vendor for that. You might have a different lender that's great with specifically dealing with foreign money and the way that has to mature, and the way that they have to do things in a different way to get the money from overseas or get the money from one currency to another. And there's different specific capacities that different lenders work under, that to me, you really want to have 3 that are your main go-to and a couple others that are different, that you could always go to. So for me, I think the magic number is 5, but to always try to point them to the same place to really create a good relationship to get your phone calls answered.
Yep. And another question in, Skylar asks, are there any specific ways that you market the home before doing the open house?
So the answer is simple. That depends. If your goal is buyer centric and your goal is to do 8 to 10, you do nothing. You do absolutely nothing. You throw 1 sign out over the listing sign. That's it. And you're doing 8 to 10, and you're not doing any marketing or advertising. The other way is you're going to do 2 open houses, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. And the goal is on Saturday and Sunday, you're actually prospecting that neighborhood with flyers, with our sniper campaigns, with heavily nicely done brochures, and all of that stuff is going to be what leads you to private, neighborhood only open house, showings and stuff like that. That's a totally different realm, and that's going after listings. That's if you can get the specific open houses to be in a neighborhood that you actually want to farm and harvest and specifically nurture. If you're not going to nurture the neighborhood, it's a waste of time to go after stuff in that way. So if it's like a one time, maybe I'll hand out flyers and stuff, it's a waste of time. I've done it a billion times. I've wasted so much money. It has to be intentional and it has to be consistent.
Yep. So real quick, Matt asks about door knocking. Yes, door knocking can be an efficient way to do it. Specifically, if you want to own the neighborhood, or if you want to do a lot of business specifically in there, getting out there and seeing people face to face is a great way to go. Guys, if there's any more
going on, doing the sniper campaign is a little bit more effective because people are nervous about having strangers on their porch.
Yep. So for those of you who don't know, Sniper is our proprietary system that we use when we do farming here at the office. Essentially what we do is we take some of our lovely brochures, a sales letter, and we create each home a custom website so that when they actually visit the website, it will say, welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And then it has like just a gorgeous page built out for them, and they can actually click on a button that will take them to see what their home's estimated value is, and a whole ton of personalized and customized documents that we have generated for them. And so we built a pretty cool in-house tool that's for that. If you guys want more information, let us know. But guys, we are running out of time here. So if there was any other important questions, you could go ahead and type them into the chat right now. Check the chat because, again, I posted the link. It looks like pretty much everybody has signed up. Still a few people that haven't. Highly recommend that you sign up for the workshop just because of all the crazy stuff that we're going to be giving, the coaching calls, the training, the lessons. We're going to help you figure out how to actually get out there and get some listings. We're going to show you how to actually convert the listings into deals, and then how to take the deals that you get and turn them into more deals. So
hey, that was the next one. Don't give them the next one. That's the one after this one. Step 1, you get the listing. Step 2, how do you get multiple listings from the listing? And there's a process to that. You systemize it. There's a process, and it's how you do it. And so that's the next one. That comes after the 30-day challenge. You're going to have another 30-day challenge because you're going to get that listing. I promise you, you're going to do it. If you do the steps, you do the stuff, and it's a process, you're going to get something. When you get it, you have to get 1 or 2 things from it. And then you have to get 1 or 2 things from that. And
legal income disclaimer, we are not guaranteeing any money.
hey, the legal disclaimers are always my deal. Why are you stealing my deal? Okay. We don't guarantee anything. All we can do is say that it works. It's worked for us in the past,
and show you what we do.
Well, we will be participating in the challenge. We will all be telling everybody about the results that everybody gets. It'll be phenomenal. It'll be good fun. And I guess to end things, does anybody have any last questions, concerns? And side note, I know we haven't said this at all, and I know you guys are probably surprised. Please join Park Place. We'd love to have you. If you're not already at Park Place, we'd love to have you join. If you're at another company, we're probably better splits. We have better marketing. We have amazing mentorship, and you get to work with amazing people like us. And it's probably a different vibe than you're used to at any other company. So we'd love to have you, and we'd appreciate the opportunity.
And
adding on to that, if you are with us and you know anybody who might want to get on with us or is thinking about getting their license, tell them about us.
Love
or
it.
Tell us about them. One of the two.
Third side note, if you're from another state,
yep,
talk to us about starting a Park Place. That's now becoming an option.
Yep.
So let us know. Let us know.
Yep.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask, guys. I mean, we're salespeople after all. Okay, so so you can reach out to us directly. You could email us, text us, whatever. Thanks for the excellent info. I love your energy. You should love our energy. And this is the type of energy you have to have at the open house. Because when you have this type of energy at the open house, you get clients. That's how you make the money happen. That's just the facts. Because if you're lethargic, if you're small, if you're slow, if you're sluggish, take a hit of caffeine. It's the best way to get things going. I don't know. I'm just kidding. You guys.
All right, y'all.
Thank you so much.
We're going to end stuff right here. Be looking in your inbox for some more stuff from us. We'd love to have you at the workshop. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you, Garth and Stewart. Love you guys. Thank you, Nate Yoder of Park Place Spokane. Great to have you all with us. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Deuces.